Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. It's currently 11:04 on the East Coast. Earlier, I was doing the video pertaining to the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. I had ran out of memory on my laptop. I have ran out to the store and I bought 2 terabytes, a portable hard drive, removed all my videos from the computer onto this hard drive. And so now we have room to roll. So let's continue where we left off. We did finish up at, we were reading Jeremiah chapter 50. And the last verse I have read was verse 39 of Jeremiah chapter 50. However, we will reread 39 before we go to 40 to finish up the chapter of Jeremiah. Once again, the continuation of destruction of the daughter of Babylon. Verse 39, of Jeremiah chapter 50 reads, Therefore the wild beast of the desert with the wild beast of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. We know currently, like I've stated before, there are still people dwelling in the Babylon of old. But this speaks to the daughter of Babylon. Now, verse 40. As Yah threw over Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yah, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there. Verse 41, Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. That is plural. So a great people, a great nation, powerful nation will be raised up. And many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, the many coastal areas of the earth. So we're looking at more than one nation right here. This is who the Most High is going to raise up against this place. Verse 42, They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel. Why will they be cruel? Because cruelty is what they gave us. So their way will be returned upon their own head. Remember, they had no similitude of mercy and kindness to either our elderly or to our youth. They will hang a 90-year-old just as fast as they will hang a 10-year-old. There was no discernment as far as judgment and justice and fairness. They were cruel, and therefore their ways of cruelty shall be returned upon their own heads. Once again, verse 42, They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Why? Because they have never showed us any mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, but it won't be horses. We know they're coming with these jet fighters. Everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Once again, as we've been reading this, some of you may have been thinking, oh man, Babylon is old Iraq back in the day. This is not speaking of that. But it is speaking of the daughter of Babylon, a nation that has the same manner of wickedness as old Babylon and will be dealt with as such. However, this Babylon will sink. The Most High will destroy it utterly, and no man or anything is going to live here. But owls and camelots and things like that, he's going to destroy this place. So we see here clearly once again, for effect, we will reread verse 42. So we understand we're speaking of the daughter of Babylon, having the same similitude, the same manners of wickedness as the ancient Babylon. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses. Everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So all the nations that the Most High will raise up, they will be raised up against this place. I would like every man of Israel, every woman of Israel to consider this. And you will see this because you are hearing this. The things you hear are for a time to come. They are to prepare you for what is to come, that you may determine where your allegiance lies. Many of you don't want to see this place destroyed. You have become like one unto your enemy. You've paid off your house. You don't want to see this place destroyed because you've paid off your house. You don't want to see this place destroyed. You just got your new promotion. You don't want to see the place destroyed. You just got a raise. You don't want to see this place destroyed. You just finished paying off your child support for the very last time, and you want to enjoy some of that money. You don't want to see this place destroyed. You've just gotten a divorce. Now you're free, quote unquote. That's what you're thinking. You want to be able to enjoy your life. You have become wealthy, have amassed wealth in this wicked place. And you don't want to lose that money. However, there are some of us who are tired of this place. We are tired of seeing our sons and daughters shot down. We're tired of seeing our people in turmoil. We're tired of seeing our people being mistreated and being mistreated ourselves. And we want to see a day where righteousness prevails and not wickedness. When the righteous man is upheld and not the wicked man. Where the standard of righteousness is the standard throughout the whole earth, rather than lying, stealing, and cheating. As Pompeo once said, that as the CIA, we lie, we steal, we cheat. And he said that with a straight face. And no one in America stood up and said, these are unrighteous ways against the Most High. And we don't want to take part in this. No one said that. Once again, the wicked will double down on his unrighteousness, and he will certainly pay, and we will see him pay. And if you are part of the wicked, and you are of the house of Israel, you too will pay. So be aware of that. Verse 43, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. So when this word is passed out, the king of Babylon, I'm thinking the current king of Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, this is what we're speaking of, is currently Joe Biden. His whole administration have been briefed on what's to come, on the allegiances and the alliances that's being formed against them right now, but they're not taking it too seriously just yet. However, it's coming to where whomever the president is, that when he gets the report of these nations that's going to form and be an array against him and against them, that he will be, his hands will wax feeble. He will be afraid. He will be weakened. Anguish will take a hold of him as a woman in travail. Panic, terror, fear. It's coming. Not only is it coming to the government of this place, it's coming to the people that live in this place. Verse 44, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan into the habitation of the strong. The habitation of the strong. That's the Most High. So if we're going up to the habitation of the strong, the Most High's habitation on this earth, so to speak, is Jerusalem, is Israel. So the Babylonian soldiers, those from America, will be running up from the swelling of Jordan into the habitation of the strong. That's into Israel. So U.S. soldiers are going to be there. They've got no choice. The Most High has prepared a banquet for all the fowls of the air that are meat eaters. that they may dine on the mighty men of the many nations. They may eat their flesh. Now, the Most High is not going to have these ravenous birds show up and there's nothing to eat. It's not going to happen. The Most High made it plain that he will gather these nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat and straight up beat them up and beat them down and pass judgment upon them. And that means to kill them. And there's no way that any of these nations, once you have been appointed a specific time to be at a specific place, and the Most High has appointed that you be there, what you're not going to do, you're not going to say, well, I don't want to go. I don't want to fight. I don't want my soldiers going. I'm going to try to talk to you, try to work it out with you real smooth and real slick. That way I don't have to go. You have to go. You are appointed to go. That is the place of your destruction. You have to be there. All right. So he will come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan into the habitation of the strong, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. All of them going to be running out of that land. It's the run out. You're going to see it. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? Her who? The land. For who is like me? The Most High said there's none like him, that we're not to compare him to anyone. He is alone. There is no God but him, and he know not any God besides him. And who will appoint me the time? No one is going to appoint the Most High the time. And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? The only shepherd that's going to stand before the Most High are the two lines of the house of Israel. The sons of David and the sons of Levi. Period. A shepherd is a leader. He leads the flock. The sons of David are our governors. The sons of Aaron are our priest. There's no such thing as a priest of the house of Israel that's not a direct son of Aaron. No daughters, just sons. That is a perpetual covenant that the Most High has with Aaron and his seed. He also has the same covenant with David and his seed, that a man of David's seed will always stand before him. Doesn't matter if it's 10,000 years down the line. If that man is of the seed of David, it is still David. So you understand that. All right. So the Most High said clearly, and who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Only shepherd that's standing before the Most High is going to be the Most High's ministers, the sons of Levi, sons of Aaron, to be specific, and the sons of David, those who may sit on that throne. Verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yah, that he has taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Final verse, verse 46. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. All right. That concludes Jeremiah chapter 50. At the fall of this place, at the destruction of this place, at the removal of this place. The earth is moved. Now, what's going to move the earth? What's going to shake the earth? Bombs, nuclear bombs, conventional bombs. Now, when a bomb hit a specific area, the whole earth shakes. Now, can you imagine what volume of bombs and the amount of bombs, kilotons or whatever it is they want to measure those things at as far as the TNT? Imagine what it's going to take, how many of those it's going to take, that when it hits this place, it's going to cause the earth to move, to shake. Well, it's going to move because it's stable. That's why. Now, the cry is heard among the nations. Everyone has placed their bets on this nation. This nation runs and controls other nations. And so many nations, in spite of them knowing that this place is full of wickedness, will still do business with it and will turn a blind eye to its wickedness. And therefore, by default, they are accomplices to its wickedness, and therefore they shall be punished and go down with it. So, man of Israel, woman of Israel, we're to turn with our whole heart and our whole soul towards Jerusalem. Lift our hands in prayer, acknowledge our faults, turn to the Most High with our whole heart and our whole soul to do that which is right in His sight, that we may enter into His covenant and enter into His embassy, that we may be protected in the time of trouble. Don't be one of these Israelites that wait till we get to that point and now you're trying to pull up the videos to see what this brother said and what you need to do. And man, I heard this 2 years ago and it's the last minute. Now I'm trying to scramble to figure out what it is I need to do. Get ahead of the game right now. Make your supplications right now. Determine whether you will live or die right now. All right. So we've covered Jeremiah chapter 50. Now let's move over to Jeremiah chapter 51. We've got plenty of space on the computer and we are ready to get this word out to the children of Israel that are of a contrite spirit and to the stranger that is of a contrite spirit, that they may turn with their whole heart and their whole soul and find some mercy in walking in the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. Jeremiah chapter 51 reads, Thus saith Yah, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me a destroying wind. We've just had a destroying wind hit this area where I live. And let me be the one to tell you, in North Carolina, it was destructive. Now, when the Most High sends these whirlwinds, they land upon the heads of the wicked. So when you look at many of the places that are experiencing these tornadoes, that are experiencing these hurricanes, that's experiencing all these whirlwinds, these floods, and these fires. Now, when you take a look at that, as the Most High destroys, the first thing the heathen says is, we will rebuild. Hurricane came through, blew his house way down the street, and the first thing this defiant man is going to do is, I'm going to rebuild. I'm not going to let what the Most High has done to my house stop me. I'm going to put my house right back where I had it and dare it to be done again. And the Most High will tear it down again. And they have not learned. So the Most High will take his destroying winds and he's going to beat up the heathen. Because when you look at a track record of where these things land and where the destruction is being done, you will see clearly who it's being done to. Verse 2, And it will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Fanners. Look at all the migrants that's currently in the land. Think of them as the caterpillars. A caterpillar will eat crops from the inside out. So these fanners, these caterpillars, these migrants are coming into the nation to destroy it. They're going to drain its resources. They're going to cause problems, internal problems within the nation. They're going to empty it prior to them going back to where they came from. Now let's take this thing from the top. There are many of our people who are highly upset that the migrants have moved into their communities, rightfully so, trying to take over everything. Some gangs are in the place, making it very difficult for the people to move about. But we've had gangs of people who look like us, and some of them are us, our people, that has made it very tough for our people to have any peace in the midst of the places where they dwell. So this is not new to us. However, we must take this thing from the source. America has sanctioned these nations, have starved them. They're unable to get the necessary medicines that they need. Cost of living is extremely high. Day-to-day living is extremely tough. Their governments have been destabilized. Their resources has been robbed and stolen. And life is extremely difficult for them. I have told you in times before, at some videos in times past, if you were the king and you went through the provinces where you ruled, and you confiscated all the wine, all the oil, all the food, all the grain, all the corn, all the rice, all the potatoes, whatever it was that was necessary for sustenance. If you were the king and you went through all the provinces where you reigned and took all the food from the people, and you took that food and you brought it back to your castle, when the people got hungry, what do you think they will do? They will show up to your castle. And when they do show up angry, hungry, there will be no bartering with them, and there will be no reasoning with them, because your acts prior to their arrival was unreasonable. This is what you have with America and all these other European nations. These nations have robbed America, and the European nations, the Christian nations, have robbed all of these many peoples that's at their doorstep. The Africans from North Africa and other places would not be sitting on the EU's doorstep if Germany and all these other European nations haven't robbed them and stolen their substance and placed sanctions against them and destabilized their governments. America has done the same in Central, South, Latin America, and Africa. So therefore, when the Latin Americans and the Africans and everyone else comes here, you're thinking, well, we're being invaded. That's how some people see this thing. However, the people are showing up to the king's house because the stuff that's in the castle belongs to them. Let me say that one more time. All these immigrants that's showing up from everywhere, whether they're showing up from North Africa on the shores of the European Union and the European nations, or they're coming from Central, South Africa, from Central, South, and Latin America, and they're showing up on American soil. A lot of what's here belongs to them. It's been stolen from them. And so therefore, they're going to show up to the king's house because the king stole all their food. This is what we've got. And there's going to be a recompense for this. So we're to remember when we see the fanners coming, it's the Most High that sent these fanners. He has sent these caterpillars to cause a destruction from the inside out. These are the very people that's showing up to his doorstep because you have robbed them, America. You have robbed them, European Union, and that's why they're in your face right now, and they are a thorn in your side, and they will continue to be. All right. So we have read verse 2, that they shall be trouble round about the daughter of Babylon. Let me read verse 2 once again. And we'll send unto Babylon fanners. These are all these migrants coming into place, that shall fan her and shall empty her land. They're going to drain its resources. For in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. Many of these migrants that's coming in here, they are the enemies of this nation. Now they're trying to pass all manner of laws to give them amnesty by which they can stay here, because the government is under the assumption that these people can be used against the children of Israel. What they're unaware of, these fanners, these caterpillars that they're actually letting in here to expedite residency and citizenship, are enemies unto the entire nation. They're going to empty the place. And they don't even know that. Verse 3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. The young men are the men of war. Old men are not fighting wars. The young men are. So the young men of this nation, the Most High will destroy. All the mothers that felt as though they would never be widows, their husbands are going to be killed. All of them that figured they weren't going to be orphans, their parents are going to be killed. It's going to be an ugly scenario, and there'll be nothing they can do to stop it. Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in the streets. Increased violence in the streets. Look for that. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his strong one, of his God. So what this is reiterating here in Jeremiah 51 verse 5 is that I have told you before, we are a people spoken for. The African nations have never stood up on the behalf of anyone in the diaspora. They can't. They also, many of them, are in the bed with the Europeans. So therefore, they can't speak on our behalf. However, we are a people in this diaspora that speaks English, Spanish, French, Dutch. We have been conquered and slaughtered by these Europeans. We are a people that's spoken for by the Most High. So we have a representative, and he will step forward and represent us. And we are certainly looking forward for that day. So the Most High is saying here that Israel, that's Israel the people, those of us that you call the N-word and spit in our face and fire us and call the cops to get a shot, run medical experiments upon us, deny us the proper care when we come to see you at the medical facilities. You know what you do. I don't have to tell you what you do. You know what you do. If you're not doing it, you know others that are doing it, and you're probably sitting still not saying anything. There's a judgment for that. You're complicit. So the Most High has not forsaken his people. He has not forsaken the house Judah in the south, and he has not forsaken Israel in the north. For Israel has not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, his strong one, of Yahweh hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Our land was filled with sin. Now the land itself didn't sin. The wicked Israelites that were treading upon the land sinned. And because we sinned while on the land was cursed. Therefore the land did not produce its increase. There was famine in the land. We were starved off the land. And ultimately we were kicked out of the land. And our enemies, who were instrumental in helping us get removed, they brought other people into the land. So now you have a bunch of people running around on our land who are unrighteous in all of their ways, and that land does not belong to them. For the record, verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his own soul. Once again, no man has ever died for you. No white man has ever died for you. That should be made plain, because all you know in your history, in your lifetime, and in the lifetime of your parents and your grandparents, is white people killing you. So one of them not coming to save you. These are the people that's murdered and enslaved you and took you all around the world to all these many nations and literally busted your head. So they're not coming to, no one of them is not coming to save you. Nor is someone with dreadlocks that looks like you is coming to save you. They can't save you. They didn't bring you here. The Most High brought us in these situations, and it's him that will deliver us out of it, and none other. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. How is this going to be? You deliver your own soul, your own person, by simply returning back unto the laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. Once again, no one has ever died for you, and your baptism that you're doing in these churches is nonsense. You have never read anywhere where a man of the Levite, of the house of Levi, one of the sons of Aaron, you have never read ever, and I mean absolutely ever, with a capital E, where a son of Levi has ever baptized a man of Israel. You ain't never read that. Not you have not read that. You ain't never read that. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yah's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So the Most High is going to recompense the way of this nation in its own bosom. And we don't want to be caught up in this mess. Be not cut off in her iniquity. Wash your hands, O man of Israel. Wash your hands from the wickedness that takes place in this place. That way, when the scourge comes through, you will be hiding in the Most High's sanctuary. That's his law. So separate yourselves. By you separating yourself from wickedness, returning back onto the Most High's righteousness, this is how you deliver your own soul. So we're reading here where it says here clearly, deliver every man his own soul. This is the records given to Israelites by one of our prophets, Jeremiah. Now, why are you doing all that? They have told you that in order for you to be delivered and for you to be saved, you've got to be baptized, etc., etc. So I want the house of Israel to remember that when we're reading the words of Jeremiah, this man wears two hats. This man is both a prophet and this man is a priest. This is a Levite speaking. The minister of the Most High. He is the go-between. And no one else can hold that post. So we have a Levite, a son of Aaron, a priest, letting the children of Israel know, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yah's vengeance. He will render upon her a recompense. And it's made plain to flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. It's every man for self. I can't deliver you. You can't deliver me. You have to go into this book, read for yourself, and based on what you have come to understand, you move in accordance with what you understand as it pertains to the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. I share with you what I'm seeing, and I encourage you to go into this book that you may read and understand for yourself. I can't deliver you. You can't deliver me. There's no need for us to sit here and pontificate and argue. I love this platform where I can just deliver this message. I don't have to deal with the Israelite who want to be right. I don't want to have to deal with the Israelite that's of a effeminate spirit, man who want to sit there and argue with you back and forth. Two men get to arguing, it's going to go a couple of ways. We're going to agree to disagree. I go my way, you go your way, or we're going to straighten knuckle up right here. That's it. So there's no back and forth like two women. Some men engage in this foolishness. So every man for himself and woman for themselves. You deliver your own soul. This is what our priest is telling us. And then you have a group of people who have hung and enslaved you and taken you all over the earth, telling you that a white man died for you and that you dip yourself in this water and all of a sudden everything goes away. You can't find this in our records. All right. Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. This nation has caused all the other nations to walk after its folly. In other words, the wickedness of this place has been spread forth to all the nations of the earth. And so now they all have drunken from her cup, the cup of wickedness. And they are following after this place. I see here now where France is trying to withdraw themselves from America. Well, there's going to be a whole bunch of nations doing that. The nations are going to turn their backs against this place. It's coming. All these sanctions have been putting on people. Don't be surprised to see some of the nations of the earth start sanctioning this place. There's going to be a change around that you will not believe. Just like we've been the dung of the earth all over the earth, all over in these nations, we have been the people that you spat on. That too will change. And it will be swift. So we see here clearly where Babylon has been a golden cup in Yah's hand that made all the earth drunken. They have made the people intoxicated with their lies, with their hypocrisy, with their violence, with their wickedness, with all their ways that's anti-Yah. They have told the people of the earth that there is no law, that the law is done away with, and all the other madness that your enemies have fed you. Therefore, the nations are mad. They've gone crazy. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. No, this place can't be healed. It's going to be destroyed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The wickedness of this place has reached the Most High. He has seen it. He has heard it. He is sick of it, and he will certainly do something about it. You see where it says here, let us go everyone into his own country. Now let's address that. You're going to see that happen here, where once the resources of this place has been robbed and stripped, there's no need for everyone to be here anymore. They will go back to their respective lands. Now, you have these quote unquote Israelis, nothing but an unrighteous white man sitting in the Holy Land. That's what that is. The Russians have called for their people to return back onto Russia. Now, these Russians call themselves Jews. They call themselves the holy people. These are white people. Now, here's a very simple example of this. You have never heard of a polar bear suffering from frostbite. Never. The Most High made that polar bear and fashioned him to live in the Arctic. He is white. He can camouflage in the background of that snow. He eats seals. His digestive system is not the same as a grizzly bear. The polar bear can hunt a seal, can get in that water and swim in those frigid temperatures, and is built to live in that environment. A polar bear is not. So if the Most High can fashion a polar bear to live in that climate, if you took that polar bear and put him out in the mountainous regions where the grizzly bear lives, he more than likely will die. That is not his designated place. So these white people, and I can say it no more straighter than that, that has fooled the peoples of the earth and have gone into the Most High's land. The people that belong in that land, just like the polar bear was fashioned to withstand the cold, the people that belong in that land were fashioned to withstand the heat. These Russians go live there. These Polish people, shout out Benjamin Malachowski, quote unquote Netanyahu. Your family name Malachowski. You're Polish. You're white. You have no connections to anyone buried in that ground called Israel. and thus you must be removed, every last one of you. So let's be straight. The people that belongs in that landmass, all these Russians, over 1 million Russians is part of that. 20% of the Israelis are Russians. So Mr. Vladimir Putin has called for his people to get out of there. He knows what's coming. He knows what's coming. And all the other people, the Polish, those from Hungary, those from Germany, especially those from America, all these quote unquote Jews, going to start finding a plane to get up out of there. They know what's coming. Someone's going to remain, and we know what's going to happen to them. This land don't belong to neither one of these people. What we're bearing witness to is typical white man behavior. Go into a land, especially where our people are, murder them, slaughter them, and all of a sudden you're the new people of the land. That's what you've got. This same playbook has been ran throughout the earth. They've done it in Central, South, Latin America, and in Africa. All they know, they have an insatiable appetite for murder, for violence, for theft, for rape, for robbery, for lies and hypocrisy. And the Most High sent this man all through the earth on this destructive behavior because he's going to bring him back full circle to where he started. That's Jerusalem. And slay him. And that's it. There's no mystery to that. The Most High has laid it out for us. He gave us the end in the beginning. There is no mystery here. Verse 10. Yah has brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yah, our strength. So we're going to have to declare this thing in Zion, all that has happened in the earth once we get returned back to that land, as we are declaring now in the earth what is getting ready to happen. And you will not hear this from anyone else but from the men of Israel. There's no European pastor coming and telling you any of what I'm sharing with you right now, and what other brothers, other Israelites, men of Israel who are teaching in righteousness are going to stand up and teach you in what you're hearing here. You may hear it from other Israelites, you will not hear it from the heathen. And if you hear it from the heathens, because he heard it from us. Most High don't work through the heathen. All the prophets of Israel are men of Israel. All the priests of Israel are men of Israel, not men of other nations. He has never dealt with them in that manner. Verse 11, make bright the arrows. What are the arrows? We've already discussed this. These are the missiles. Gather the shields. Yah has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Now, once again, it's the Most High that's putting the power pack in the Iranians. So America thinking we've got more guns, we've got more of this, and we've got more of that. Israel is thinking they've got more of this and that. Well, here's what's going to happen. I've told you in times past, if I'm fighting you and your homeboy going to give you some brass knuckles, if he's going to give you a bat, if he's going to give you anything while I'm fighting you, he's no longer an innocent bystander. I'm going to get you and I'm going to sure get him. And it's no different. So this place have sided with wickedness. These Israelis have leaned upon this place. So what the Most High is going to do, he's going to knock the legs out from under that stool. Meaning, you Israelis want to lean on America. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll destroy your help. And you're going to be standing alone. And this is the part where we're all are going to see if these are the people of God, God's going to come and help them. If these Israelis, these Russians, these Yugoslavians, these Germans, these white Americans, these Austrians, these people from Czechoslovakia and Belarus and wherever else they came from, that's sitting in the land, pretending to be the house of Israel, suffering from all manner of skin cancer in that land, like I said before. The Most High fashioned the polar bear to live in the ice. Polar bears don't get frostbite. The people that the Most High fashioned to live in Northeast Africa, that area you call Israel, we don't get frostbite. We don't get sunburn. We don't suffer from high rates of skin cancer or anything like that, because we were fashioned for that land. The Most High is not going to take his people. He's not going to fashion a people, designate them a specific land, and when they get there, the sun just burns them up. So these heathen, the heathen, they're so removed and far removed from the Most High, they blaspheme the Most High with their nonsense. Now you're making the Most High to be an idiot. That's what you're trying to do. First, you try to make the Most High to be a man. Then you try to make the Most High to where he can't get nothing right. You're saying that people won't obey him and his own angels won't obey him. Really? And now you're saying that the Most High is going to fashion a people, put them in a specific place that they really can't live there because the sun is going to burn their skin up and disease them. But it's the same God that made a polar bear and put him in extreme temperatures, and he lives there just fine. This is the kind of hypocrisy and the nonsense that you get from the heathen who knows not Yah. All right. So we see clearly that the Most High will raise up the spirit of the Medes. Now, when I'm thinking of Medes, most people may think of just Iran. When I'm thinking of Medes, I'm thinking of Iran. I'm thinking of the Pakistanians. Pakistanis and the Indians are the same people, so put those two together. I'm thinking of the Afghans. I'm thinking of Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, and parts of Turkey. These people pretty much got the same bloodline. So when Iran goes to war with them, all these other nations are coming. The Iraqis are coming. The Saudis going to come too. Jordanians and the Egyptians with them. Yemen is coming. All these nations are coming. It's going to be a vast array of nations that will come against this place. And they don't even know it. This is the trap that's been set for them. Walking right into a snare, unaware of this thing. So he has raised up the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon. That's the daughter of Babylon. His device is against the United States of America and all those that roll with it. What is his device to do? To destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of Yah, the vengeance of his temple. They ran up in the temple, did all manner of foul things, busted our heads, scattered us to the four corners of the earth. Now we're out here worshiping all types of false gods, have been doing it for quite a while, and we're wondering to ourselves, how come that's never worked? Because it's a lie. That's why it's never worked for you. So, for effect, verse 11, that way you understand when you turn to Al Jazeera and you look at all the many different forms of alternative media that they will not let you see here in America. You can listen to the mainstream lies if you wish, but you're going to have to go to the source where these things are actually taking place. That way you can hear it from the people that are there. That way when you hear that the Medes have launched these arrows at these Israelis, you can now make heads and tails of what you are hearing and what you're seeing. Verse 11, once again for effect. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yah has raised up the spirit of the Medes, of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it. We're in the daughter of Babylon. Old Babylon has already been destroyed. Now we're speaking of the daughter of Babylon. The Most High's whole plan is to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yah, the vengeance of his temple. These same Romans are the ones that conquered us, stole our scrolls, took our book, and told us, now you can't read that. Read this new book right here we've got. And we bought that thing. All right. Verse 12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For Yah has both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, prepare the ambushes. These are traps. It's an ambush. It's a trap. So be prepared for these things. This is against the inhabitants of Babylon. So if you live here, you don't want to get caught in the trap. When the destruction comes, you don't want to be part of that. How can you save yourself? You separate from all the madness of this place. If you are a man of Israel, start obeying the God of Israel. If you're a man of the other nations, and the Most High has placed it upon your spirit that you can clearly see the difference between righteousness and unrighteousness, then your way to save yourself and your house as well is for you and your house to turn to righteousness. This is not very hard to figure out. All right, verse 13. O thou that dwelleth among the many waters and abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. All right, let's deal with that. Verse 13 of Jeremiah chapter 51. Thou that dwellest upon many nations, upon many waters, nations too, but it's indicating the many military outposts and bases that this place has throughout the earth in order to maintain its hegemony, to protect the petrodollar. All of this is about to come to an end. All of these military outposts that you have on the many waters of the earth and on the many lands of the earth, they're going to be destroyed. Many of these men sitting in these places are dead men as I speak. They don't know that yet. So this place dwelleth upon many waters. There are in many shores, many countries. They are abundant in treasures. Why? Because in the many places where they have their militaries, their outposts, they have stolen the substance of those people. And therefore, because they have stolen their substance, that's why they're rich. England is rich because it has robbed, raped, and enslaved African people. So is France, and so is Belgium, and so is the Netherlands, and so is Germany, and so is America, and so is Spain, and so is Portugal and Italy, and all these other killers that call themselves Christians. They are wealthy because they have raped, robbed, and stolen the substance of the children of Israel. That's why the Most High said, we are robbed and spoiled. Robbed by who? The European Christian. Arabs done it too. We'll get to them. So we understand clearly here that the Most High's got something in for this place. Verse 14. Yah of hosts has sworn by himself. He's alone. He's one, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. I'm going to fill you with men as in caterpillars. I've told you that caterpillars will eat your place from inside out. The caterpillars, the fanners, are all these different migrants that's in here. That's going to tear this place up from inside out. It's going to drain it, going to empty it. And they will raise up a shout against this place. These people that they're going to fast forward their ability to have a green card and fast forward their ability to have citizenship. They are not friends of quote unquote America. America don't know that. This is part of the traps and snares that's been set for it. Verse 15. He hath made the earth by his power. He has made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom. All masculine, singular pronouns. And has stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens. Now, if you read Genesis, it lets us know clearly there's waters above and there's waters beneath. So clearly, once again, when he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. All this JC, make him black with dreadlocks, make him white with long stringy hair. It is all falsehood. There's no breath in that statue that you're kissing. There's no breath in that statue that's sitting on your nightstand. There's no breath in that statue in that idol house you call a church. And when the Most High brings the heat to this nation, you're going to grab that accursed thing and you're going to toss it. Verse 18. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. Verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yah of hosts is his name. The Most High's land is Israel. We are the Most High's sons and daughters. The sons and daughters inherit that of the Father. That's why we've been given that land. But upon us getting that land, the Most High said, look, you are sojourning with me. This is my land right here. Now, while you're in my land, you're going to have to obey my rules. And if you can't obey my land, if you can't obey the rules in my land, then you can't live in my house. I got to kick you out. And because we refuse to obey the landlord, who's the Most High, we got the boot. Now here we are in these nations, swearing we belong here. And all the people of the nations keep reminding you that you don't. But you don't believe them. And if you go and read these scriptures carefully, these holy scriptures, that's been left for those of us who have thought upon the name of the Most High. If you were to go into the book of remembrance, you will be brought swiftly to remembrance exactly where your dwelling place is. All right. Verse 20. Thou art my battle axe and weapon of war. Who's he speaking to? Most High is speaking to the children of Israel. He states here, Jeremiah 51 verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. That's the man of Israel. So don't think, oh man of Israel, that you are not going to do any fighting. Now, when we got taken into captivity, do you think some of us were fighting? You better believe it. We didn't volunteer for this. We fought, but we were subdued. So if we fought, that way we would not be brought into slavery. What makes you think our enemies going to let us just cuff them and take them into slavery? They're going to fight, and we're going to have to fight them. You better prepare your heart for that. Many of our men, especially our older men, even 50-year-olds, I'm 51. There's 50-year-olds I know and 60-year-olds that I know that are men broken in spirit. Most High have not strengthened them to fight anything. Their women run their houses. They're cowards at heart. We've got a bunch of them. However, with the Most High Spirit upon us as we turn back onto his laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts, our heart will be strengthened against our enemies. And the spirit of cowardice will be removed from our hearts. So in turning back to the law, there's many things that are pluses for us. But we are to be aware that we are the battle axe of the Most High. We're going to bust these nations' heads. Most High is going to be before us while we're busting heads. If the Most High is before us and we keep him before us, we don't lose to any of these nations. So the Most High made it plain that we will break in pieces with the house of Israel, will he break in pieces the nations, and he will destroy the kingdoms. Verse 21. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariots and his rider. Verse 22. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman. With thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Verse 23. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. That's the farmer. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and unto all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yah. So, there's all manner of evil being done in Zion. This daughter of Babylon has supplied all manner of weaponry, bombs, by which to drop on the Most High's land. And the Most High is saying that he will render unto the daughter of Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, that's the people that's living here, all their evil that they have done in Zion. And he is making it plain that he's going to do it in our sight. We're going to see it. So there's no guesswork here of what's coming. You have heard it. Now to validate it, you're going to see it. Behold, I'm against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yah, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yah. There's going to be nothing left in this place worthy of anything. Simple way to put it. Verse 27. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet, time for war. You've seen the video that I've released not too long ago, blow the trumpets, it's time for war. So we are to blow the trumpets among the nations. Let the nations be warned that war and destruction is coming. Prepare the nations against her. Cause together against her the kingdoms of Arad. These are Turkish people. Many and Ashkenaz. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Once again, these Medes. Prepare against the daughter of Babylon the nations with the kings of the Medes. So there's a bunch of nations that's going to join these Medes. That's going to join the Iranians against the daughter of Babylon. If the Most High is on your side, you're not going to lose. The Most High is the one raising up the Medes, stirring up the kings of the Medes. And he will cause other nations to join the Medes. And their whole purpose is to destroy the daughter of Babylon. This will not go well for the United States of America and its allies. I hope you understand that clearly. The goal is to deliver this in English. That way, if you have any of your sons and daughters that's deployed in any of these areas, you are to be fearful for what's to come. The captains thereof and all the rulers thereof and all the lands of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow. For the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yah shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. He's going to destroy it. Verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon has forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. What's their might? Their weapons. They became as women, punks. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. To burn her dwelling places, fire. They dwell on many waters. They dwell on many shores. Their bases are going to be attacked. Their bars will be broken. Many of the men will not fight. They're going to be paralyzed with terror and fear. Remember, the Most High is the spirit of all living things. So you can take a brave man and put a different spirit on him and make him a punk just like that. All of a sudden, that man who was talking all this noise of who he's going to kill and what he's going to do, sitting there holding his M16 or M4 or whatever it is they've got nowadays, sitting there terrified, won't come out of his hole. Most High put a different spirit upon him, terror. All right. The mighty men of Babylon, once again, the mighty men of Babylon has forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. Their might, their God is their weaponry. They became as women, cowardly. Go by to this. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Verse 31. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. So the message is going to, hey man, it took such and such a state. This state got blown up. This base got overran, XYZ. So the king of Babylon will be getting these reports that enemies are coming. And they're taking over XYZ, or they've ran over this outpost, etc., etc. Verse 32. And that the passages are stopped. Yeah, man, they done cut off that Suez Canal. We can't use that anymore. They done put blockage in the Red Sea, Black Sea covered. All these passages have stopped up. Verse 32 once again. And that the passages are stopped, and that the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. Punks. All the big tough dudes running around killing people, and the killers are glorified. Men out here killing kids, killing women, and killing men on other people's soil that pose no threat to them. Most High is going to put a different spirit on these Marines, these soldiers, etc. He's going to put one of fear on them. They're going to be affrighted. Verse 33. For thus saith the Yah of hosts, the strong one of Israel, the daughter of Babylon. I've told you, we've been talking about the daughter of Babylon. This is what's coming to the daughter of Babylon. Our understanding is that this place is the daughter of Babylon. The United States of America is. Once again, for thus saith the Yah of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. A threshing floor. That's the place where you stomp on the grapes, and where you would separate different products. Throw the waste product over here, have the good products over here. So the threshing floor is a place where you're going to be stomped on, literally. Verse 34. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me. He has crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a dragon. He has filled his belly with my delicates. He has cast me out. Verse 35, excuse me. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. So the blood, the violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. So, okay, this is what the inhabitants of Zion is going to say. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem is going to say. Now, we are the ancient inhabitants of that land. So all the violence that was done to us is going to be on the hands of America. And it's going to be on the hands of Britain, France, Germany, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, and all the other Christian nations that has murdered us, enslaved us, and continue to mistreat us this day, and refuse to pay reparations or do anything to amend for their wrong. But they're never going to. Because if they did that, then the Most High is he can't really bust them upside their head. They're gonna try to be remorseful, but they're not. They're gonna double down on this thing. And that's going to be proven to us that we will get none of these things, because it's the Most High that's going to deliver us. He made it plain that none delivereth out of his hand. So therefore, we're not getting any reparations in these lands. And the Israelites need to understand that. But we're going to ask for it. We're going to raise up a shout for it. We're going to raise up a shout against these people. That's going to vex them. It's going to upset them. That way they would get a chance to double down like the Pharaoh did. Pharaoh said, I'm not letting you go. I don't know what you're talking about. Get back to work. Most High hardened his heart. Why? Because the Most High was going to bust his head. So the Most High is going to harden the heart of these European Christian nations that's murdered us. Why? Because he's going to bust their head like he busted Pharaoh's head. Now, when we left Egypt, it was one place. We have been scattered to the four corners of the earth. We're in all the nations of the earth. So all the nations of the earth are going to get it. They're going to get this work. There's no other way. And there's nothing they can do to stop this thing. So hard times are coming. All right. So now we're at verse 32. Actually, we're at 33. Okay, we've read 33. Let's move on to 34. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. We've done that. Violence. All right. Let's move to verse 36, because that's where we are. Therefore, thus saith Yah, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. There are many parts of America right now, many lakes, etc. You can look at and you see this water. The water's being dried up. So once water begins to be dried up in this land, expect two things that comes with that. Expect famine to come with that. And where there's famine, that's where you have a lack of water. And once you have that, there you have death, you have destruction, and you're going to have violence, because water is a necessity to sustain life. So once the Most High start drying up the waters, that means there's no rain coming on the land, which means there's going to be famine. So you are to be prepared for the lack of water and the droughts that's going to hit this place. So be mindful of that. The Most High said once again in verse 36, therefore thus saith Yah, behold, I will plead thy cause. He's going to fight on our behalf for the injustices that was done unto us. And he will take vengeance for us. Yeah, like I've said, we are a people spoken for. Most High said, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. He's speaking of what he's going to do to the daughter of Babylon. Verse 37. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment and a hissing without an inhabitant. There's people in Babylon, old Babylon right now in Iraq. This daughter of Babylon, Most High is saying there will be nothing here. Verse 38. They shall roar together like lions. They shall yell as lions' whelps. So they're going to talk tough, right? They're going to roar like lions, but they shall yell as lions' whelps. In other words, what this is saying is that the daughter of Babylon is going to talk tough. And then when the Most High break them, they're going to be crying like some punks. Their whole spirit going to change. But right now, the tough guy act is going a long way. But the Most High is going to break all that. And they're going to be yelling like lions' whelps. This is like baby lions. You know, the kind you could pick up and hold in your hand and slap him in his head. And he can't do anything. But right now, they're talking tough and acting brave. But they're going to be yelling. They're going to go from roaring all loud to sounding like lions' whelps, like young kittens. So you understand the analogy here. Verse 39. In their heat, I will make their feast, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith Yah. In their heat, I will make their feast. Yeah. And I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, death. And you don't wake up from that. This is what's being proposed for the daughter of Babylon. Verse 40. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with the he-goats. He's going to kill them. This is the gathering of the valley of Jehoshaphat. All these nations, he's going to bring them down like lambs to the slaughter. The lamb don't have a choice. Man, I don't want to go on this line. I don't want to get my neck slit. I want to go that way. No, you don't have the choice. You got to get in this line, go get your head cut off. That's how this is going to go. So this is how this is going to work. This will not go well for the wicked man. So if you're moving in wickedness, turn back now. The Most High is full of tender mercies. Now, he's still going to stick it to you, but you're not going to get it all the way stuck to you if you are of a contrite spirit. So turn back while there's yet time. All right. How is Shishak taken? And how is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? Surprise. How is the whole earth surprised that this big old mighty nation that sanctioned everyone, that slaughtered the house of Israel, that refused to make amends to the children of Israel, that has funneled weapons to all its enemies, that has been in partnership with all the wicked regimes and governments of the earth. How did this powerful nation that was the hammer busting everyone in the head, how did this happen? The praise of the whole earth surprised. Why? Because the Most High has set a trap for this place. How has Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? Everyone is shocked and horrified at the defeat, at the fall of the daughter of Babylon. Verse 32. The sea has come up upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. The Most High is going to sink this whole place. That's why Jeremiah had binded that letter to the rock and threw it, so that the rock will sink like Babylon will sink. All right. Verse 43. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land. Most High is going to dry it up. And the wilderness, a land, is the dry land and a wilderness, a land where no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereby. Verse 44. And I will punish Bel in Babylon. The modern day Bel is the JC of this land. And I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he has swallowed up. All right. Who has Bel swallowed up? Who has JC swallowed up in these lands? They have swallowed up the children of Israel. They have caused the children of Israel to believe in falsehoods. And the Most High is going to cause his righteousness and his truth to come forth. That those who are seeking the Most High in righteousness and in truth, they will hear the truth of his righteousness. And therefore those that they have tried to destroy by leading them astray, he's going to cause them to, the one that's been swallowed up, he's going to cause them to be thrown up out of the mouth of this nation, so to speak, that they may get a chance to consider their ways and their doings and make it good. And the nations shall not flow together anymore unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. So all the nations have flown onto this place, meaning they have followed it. This nation is led in wickedness, and the other nations have followed this place. Now, when this is all said and done, all of these nations will abandon this place because they will see what the fate of this place is. Many of them will hear these words. That way they will know exactly what is to come, and they're going to start separating themselves. France is doing it right now. France is still going to pay. But they're at least moving in the right direction now. They're washing their hands. They're stepping away. from the United States, and many nations will follow suit. You know, it's funny. It's like going to fight. Everyone is a bad dude till the man next to you get a bullet in his forehead, and all of a sudden you will consider whether you want to keep going forward or not. So when the daughter of Babylon is dealt with, all of these other nations are going to have to bethink themselves and their positions and their allegiance with it, and consider the trajectory that they're on and what can be their latter end, so to speak. Verse 45, my people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yah. Now, we have read this before. Deliver ye every man his soul. Can't nobody deliver you. I can't deliver you. You can't deliver me. Go into this book, seek ye the book of Yah, and read it. And based on what you understand in counsel, you make moves based on what you're able to see here. That's it. No need for you to argue with the next man. There's no need for you to try to shine on somebody else. Point them into the book, let them read. If their heart is pure and they're seeking the Most High with their whole heart and their whole soul in truth and in righteousness, He will allow them to see what is necessary, that they may make the correct moves by which to deliver themselves. But having a bunch of men of Israel on here arguing, trying to act like who's right and who's wrong and who's this and who's that, I want you all to remember this, that when Moses took over the leadership of the house of Israel, the Most High made it plain to all the house of Israel exactly who Moses was. That way they would be led by him. The Most High did many things by which to demonstrate to the children of Israel, this man right here is the man that's going to lead you. And any opposition to this man right here is going to cause you some problems. Now, when Moshe died, Joshua took over. And the Most High magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel. That way we knew clearly that this is the man that the Most High has designated to lead us. Joshua didn't have to go back and forth with nobody. Period. Moshe wasn't going back and forth with nobody. The Most High strengthened that man. That way it was made plain to the children of Israel exactly what his position is. Now, the same thing will happen in these many nations. We speak many different languages. My videos are done in English. We have brothers in these Latin languages speak Spanish. We have brothers in these French colonies, in these Portuguese colonies, in all these different places where these people have murdered and carried us into their lands, into their little enclaves. The man that speaks Italian, that is an Israelite, he is best to speak to the Italians. The man that speaks Spanish, that is of the house of Israel, he can speak to the Israelites in Spanish, etc., etc., etc. So that we are to be mindful of all of these different things as the Most High continue to raise us up in the many lands where we have been scattered. All right, now we are down to 1 second. So we've read verse 45, where every man will deliver his own soul. Once again, you have to turn you and you alone. No one can deliver you but you. You can't deliver your mother. You can't deliver your own child. They have to make that decision for themselves. Verse 46, at least your heart faint. Ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, confused, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Verse 48. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, saith Yah. The Russians, the Chinese, and others with them. Verse 49. As Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall. All right. So you understand why the Most High is doing it to this place. This place, throughout time, before it became America, the people that has established it has been our tormentors. The people that established it are the ones that broke into our temple. The people that had established it are the ones that corrupted the words of the Most High. The people that has established this America are enemies unto the Most High and enemies unto his people. This is to be clear. All right. So once again, as Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Most High is going to wreck these nations because they all have been in the cahoots against his people. He will plead the cause of his people. And his people ain't everybody. And his people have never been called Christians. Man of Israel, woman of Israel, you to remember that. Verse 50. Ye that have escaped the sword, you didn't get killed. You escaped. Go away. Stand not still. Remember Yah afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. So, many of us escaped the sword in the days of old, and we were scattered into these lands. Now, as Jerusalem come into our mind and we're brought back to remembrance, that's how we start remembering who we are, who our God is, how we're supposed to pray. Now we can go into this book with a clear understanding of exactly what we are to do, what has happened to us in times past, and what's going to happen in the future. Therefore, we can go into this book and give you a clear understanding and a clear breakdown of what it is you're seeing right now and what is to come, that you may be prepared for it. So this is something that we must consider. We are to remember Yah afar off and let Jerusalem come into our mind. It don't say nothing about JC, and it don't say anything about letting any of these European countries, France, Germany, America. America is a European country. It's not in Europe, but it's a European country. Canada and all these other places. We don't let that come into our mind. We're to let Jerusalem come into our mind. Whether we are those that was kicked out in the first few captivities, or those of us who are now in the midst of the heathen, and we have been spared, we're still alive. Therefore, we are to remember Yah, and we're to let Jerusalem come into our mind. Verse 51, we are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame hath covered our faces, for strangers are coming to the sanctuaries of Yah's house. Now, Yah's house, the only people that can go into Yah's house are the Levites, period. Now, when we come to the courts of the Most High, we're going to have the courts going to be Israelites here. The stranger that is of a contrite spirit is going to be here. Have I read that anywhere? No. Is there any place that I can tell you, hey man, this is in this chapter, this verse? No. I just know that when we come before the Most High at his temple and we hit those courts, you're not going to be standing there side by side with no stranger. The house of Israel is going to be in this court, and the stranger is going to be in that court. I just know that. Can you point it to you any place? I just know that. All right. So we are confounded because we heard their reproach. We've read that. And for strangers are coming to the sanctuaries of the Most High's house. Yeah, strangers are not allowed in there. Certainly no man of another nation is allowed in the Most High's house. The Most High's house is a place strictly reserved for the priests, strictly reserved for the sons of Levi. A Judite can't go in there. He would be considered a stranger, though he's a man of Israel. A man from Issachar can't go in there. He is a stranger in that regard. So this is not only a stranger as in people of the other nation. These are people of the other tribes also. If you're not of the tribe of Levi, you've got no business in there. You can't go in there. Most High kill you for that. If not, he'll plague you. Verse 45. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith Yah, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and throughout all her land the wounded shall groan. All right, so the Most High is going to do judgment upon her graven images. Now, what does this mean? The Most High is going to prove to you that this JC that you kiss, do the sign of the cross and all this other nonsense. He's going to prove to you that your whole life you've been lied to and you fell for it. And those of you who are smart, once this is shown to you, you will turn back and be remorseful. You've been duped. And so therefore, when he do judgment upon her graven images, that's him. I've told you in times past, whatever it is you believe in, whether you believe in JC or the man in the forest that's worshiping a frog, whatever it is you believe in, it's going to be so bad in the entire earth, not in one place, in the entire earth, that you're going to get a chance to see if that which you believe in works. Verse 53. Though Babylon should mount to heaven, should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith Yah. Though Babylon shall mount up to heaven. Oh yeah, the daughter of Babylon has got all types of satellites up there, got some space outposts out there, got submarines down in the sea. The Most High said clearly, look, no man can search out the depths of the sea. But this European man say, man, what? I'm going down there. I'm building me a machine. I'm going to go down there and search that thing out. And when he does it, the Most High kill him. No one can search out the heavens, man. I'm going to build me a rocket ship and I'm going to go put some stuff up there because I'm going to defy everything that the Most High said. That's just what I do. That's the heathen for you. All right? So though Babylon, though the daughter of Babylon should mount up to heaven, throw your satellites up there, throw your space stations up there, etc., and though she should fortify the height of her strength, have all kind of barriers of protection for her strength, outposts, military outposts all over the earth, lying and strong arming folks, stealing their substance. The Most High said, yet, in spite of all this, he will send the spoilers that will come unto her. We've already got some spoilers here. All right. Verse 54. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. 55. Because Yah has spoiled Babylon, and destroyed out of her the great voice. What's the great voice? JC and Christianity. Lies. When her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken. For Yah do recompense, for Yah of recompenses shall surely requite. In other words, the Most High is going to require of this nation the blood of the children of Israel that it has spilled here and has been spilling throughout time in all the places where we have been held captive, and for the blood that's being spilled in Jerusalem right now and that has been spilled in the days of old. It is a recompense. The bill is due. Your reparations are not going to be any good. You can't give us land here. We don't belong here. So it's not our land. You can't give us American currency to fix this. The Most High's currency is silver and gold. We can't spend your US dollars. How are we going to spend US dollars when there is no US? Think about that now. You want reparations in US dollars? Why? When you get back into the land, there will be no America. What are you talking about? However, all the silver and gold that you've stolen from Africa and everywhere else that you have in your storehouses, all the wealth of the unrighteous has been stored up for the righteous. So when you take us back to Jerusalem, all of that gold and diamonds and whatever else you've stolen that belong to us, the rightful owners are going to get it back. You're going to bring that in tow. That's going to be part of your gift unto the Most High, asking for forgiveness that you may be spared. That's what these nations have to look forward to. So being wicked, you may prosper for a time, but the end is your destruction and your own shame. Let every man of Israel that can hear this turn back from his wicked way. You're wasting your time. And you're bringing about your own destruction. Verse 57. And I will make drunk her princes, that's her young men, and her wise men, her prudent men, her captains and her rulers, and her mighty men, the soldiers. They shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith the King, whose name is Yah of hosts. So here's what the Most High is saying about the daughter of Babylon, about America. I will make drunk her princesses. That's her young men. What's a drunk man? A drunk man is someone who's incoherent, who cannot control his faculties, who cannot make sound and wise decisions. His decisions, while being intoxicated, are decisions of errors. And her wise men, he's going to take away their knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as well. Their counsel will be worthless. All the government advisors and all this other stuff, all these other posts that they hold. Most High going to put a spirit on these men to give you all kind of crazy counsel. That's going to hurt you. Her captives and her rulers are politicians. And her mighty men, that's her soldiers. They shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake. Direct translation of this, he's going to kill them. Verse 58. Thus saith Yah of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. Okay. You're seeing that already. Some people are working 2 and 3 jobs, and they're still weary. Many people have quit their jobs. Why? Because they were working 2 and 3 jobs and still could not make ends meet. So they came to the conclusion, man, why work? I quit. I can't get ahead. I can't get ahead. So what's the use of me killing myself going to work when I have a job, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm being squeezed from all sides. I can't get ahead. I quit. I throw in the towel. You're getting a lot of that. So the people, they're being squeezed. And there will be more, and there will be more of that. Let me get back to where we were. So we're reading here where the people are laboring in vain. Yeah, you're doing all this work. You're working hard. You get ready to retire. You're close. You got $1 million in your retirement. And all of a sudden, your $1 million is now $250,000 because you've been robbed. Them fellas on Wall Street done robbed you. These Europeans now. Now, keep in mind of the Nahum Ghazi situation, liar and thief. What did the Most High do to Gehazi? He made him white, didn't he? Remember that plague? And made his children white to symbolize the greed of that man. Insatiable appetite, greed, and his lies, because he lied to the prophet. So there's a lot of things for you to take from this book when you start studying it in context. That way you may understand clearly who you're dealing with and what spirit is upon them. All right, so the Most High made it plain that he was going to take that man and he was going to make his seed white. Well, obviously, that man's seed is still running on here on this earth. Clearly. All right. Verse 59. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sariah, the son of Deriah, the son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, into Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. And this Sariah was a quiet prince. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sariah, when thou comest to Babylon, and shall see, and shall read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Yah, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. Well, we know he's not talking about Babylon of old, because Babylon of old is not desolate forever. People still live in the rock. Verse 63. And it shall be, when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it, and cast it into the midst of the Euphrates. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah. All right, it's currently 12:46, and I have finished up reading Jeremiah chapter 50 and Jeremiah chapter 51, that the children of Israel may understand clearly what the Most High has proposed to do to this place where we live. You are to prepare yourself for this. You should understand clearly now exactly who the Most High is raising up against this nation. Now you have a choice. Are you going to pick up guns on the sides of this nation? Or are you going to pick up the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts and side with him? The Medes are ready. The Russians are ready. The Chinese are ready. And all the nations of the coast of the earth are going to join these Medes against this place. So I've told you it's showtime. And the show is getting more and more exciting. But it's going to get painful too. It's going to get terrifying as well, because we are in the crossfire. Our only hope is in the Most High. Your hope is not in the ballot box. Your hope is not in these politicians. Your hope is not in this nation. Your hope is not in how much money you have. It's certainly not in how many guns and bullets you got. Because this nation will go against the Medes with all the guns money can buy and all the bullets and soldiers they can muster, and yet they will fail. So place your trust in Yah, O man of Israel. Place your trust in Yah, O people of the nations. Turn with your whole heart and your whole soul and do that which is right in the sight of the Most High. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. That concludes this lesson. Destruction of the daughter of Babylon. Tomorrow, if time permits, I will certainly sit down and just speak to you pertaining to the things that I'm seeing in the quote unquote Middle East, though there is no such thing, and what's taking place in the Ukraine as far as these wars go. But it was imperative that I finish this lesson tonight. It's currently 12:48. Now we have plenty of space on this computer. We've got room to run. So tomorrow, if time permits, I will sit down and probably do a little 30-minute segment pertaining to what I'm seeing that's taking part in the nations and what we can possibly look forward to. But certainly, these two chapters encompasses exactly what we're looking at. Now, what we are to do is we have read it with our own eyes in the book. Now, we are to bear witness to see if our God and his prophets, if what they're saying lines up. Simple as that. And this is how we will know that we are bearing witness to the words of the Most High, because he's going to prove it to our face exactly what he's saying. Once again, peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. And peace to the stranger that is of a contrite spirit, that will take a hold of the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts, and do them. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless.